Okay, guys, just want to say again, some of you guys are really inspiring, especially Daniela yesterday. She really got me motivated again. That's why I'm making these videos for you guys. All right. So I noticed again, some of you struggling with solving triangles using the law of sines. Guys, it's one of the last things I taught you pretty well before we had to leave for this stupid coronavirus stuff. So we got to get this down, okay? Now, if you're IM2, I want you to try it because it's not that hard to learn if you practice it. If you practice it. All right, let's check this out. So, again, in Khan Academy, what I did was, even though I did it at least once or twice for you before, I'm doing it again. We're going to practice solving triangles using law of sines. Okay? Now, the law of sines, by the way, simply says this. Little side A, you match up with its opposite angle, big A. The sine of it, that is. And that's always going to equal the ratio of little b, side little b, matched up with the sine of its opposite angle, big B. And that can be matched up with little side C, which goes with the sine of big C. It looks a lot scarier than it looks, guys. Or it looks a lot scarier than it really is. Let's get started. So, for example, on this one, do you agree they want us to find angle C, which is over here? So I'm marking angle C. Notice how the 10 is opposite of the C. This is going to be what they call my little c, because it's opposite big C. All right? And then look down here. Big A, angle A is 23. Opposite of it is the 7. That's going to be my little a. So little a is always opposite big angle A, and little c is always opposite big angle C. Okay? So, now that we got that straightened out, check this out. All I'm going to do is do 7, match it up with the sine of 23 degrees. That's little a matched up with the sine of big A. That's the ratio you're going to do every time. The side matched up with its opposite angle. That's going to equal, you see, little c, which we don't know. Actually, we do know is 10. And we're going to match it up with big C, which we don't know. That's the sine. Don't forget to do the sine of your angle. There's your problem, guys. So let's cross multiply. I know if I do 7 times sine C, that's got to equal 10 times the sine of 23 degrees. Okay? And to find sine C, could I not just divide both sides by 7 like that? So I know sine C is going to equal whatever that is right there. Now, I decided to demonstrate with the computer calculator, which you can only do if you have a laptop, guys. If you have a phone, you're going to use your own calculator. Okay? But it's good practice. So, I did 10 times the sine of 23. I got this. I then took that. I divided by 7. 0.55818, right? So again, I did 10 times the sine of 23. I divided by 7. I got 0.558 basically. Now, I'm not going to write down the whole number. I'm just showing my work a little bit here because I left that number in my calculator so I didn't have to retype it. And then to find angle C right here, I'm going to do a sine inverse on both sides. Now on the computer calculator, you will notice there's a sine inverse button. It shows up as a sine, short for arc sine. Arc sine, sine inverse means it does the sine backwards. It's the inverse. Okay? So when I do the sine inverse on this answer, which I did not touch, I left it in there, and I use my answer button to plug that into the arc sine. Here's my answer, guys. And they say round it off to the nearest degree. So I'm going to round that off to 34 degrees. So I'm going to type in right here 34 degrees. Just 34 because the degrees is already there. Guys, that's the law of sines. Okay? Now, let's go on to the next problem. Notice this time I have big B here. Opposite of it is 11. Now, guys, see, just set it up. I know 11 is opposite with the sine of 42 degrees. Always match up the side with the sine of its opposite angle. All right? Now, I notice they gave me big A down here is 93 degrees. So that's sine 93 degrees. That's got to go with this opposite, which so happens to be what they're asking for. I'm going to call it little x. You also could call it little a, by the way, since that is big A down there. Okay? But anyways, solving it, I'm going to cross multiply 11 times the sine of 93 degrees. That's going to equal x times the sine of 42 degrees. Right? Now, to find x, all I need to do now is divide by the sine of 42. Now, guys, don't panic. We're going to do all of this on the calculator right now together. You ready? First, let's do 11 times sine 93. 11 times the sine of 93 is this 10.98. Now, I leave it in my calculator. Why? Because I know I'm now just need to divide it by sine of 42. So, I'm going to press divide. And I'm going to press the sine. And I'm going to type in 42 in parentheses. And there's my answer, guys. Now, I believe they said round off to the nearest tenth. So we're just going to do that, right? We know our answer is 16.4. That's the length of this side x, or little a if you want to call it. And again, guys, this is how you do the law of sines. Match up each side with the sine of its opposite angle. That's the ratio that works throughout any triangle. Any triangle. It's the law of sines. Okay? All right. Let's try this one. They want angle B over here. Notice opposite of it is 11. So I'm going to set it up. 11 goes with the sine of big B. That's going to equal another ratio, right? Notice the 81 has 15 opposite of it. So 15 goes with the sine of 81 degrees. Again, all you do is match up each side with its opposite angle, the sine of its opposite angle. All right? And you get a proportion when you set it up, as I just did again. Now, cross multiplying, I got 11 times the sine of 81 degrees. That's going to equal 15 times the sine of B, big B, which means all I need to do is divide by 15, and I now have the sine of B. So let's do it together, guys. 11 times the sine of 81. 11 times the sine of 81 is this 10.86. Again, leave it in the calculator. Why? Because the next thing you're going to do is divide by 15. I divided by 15. I got 0.724. Again, leave it in your calculator. See, it's right over here. So that 0.724, I left it in my calculator. That equals the sine of B. So to find B, I'm going to do sine inverse to get rid of the sine, you see. So I know big B, angle B is going to equal whatever that is. And so I press sine inverse. It shows up as a sine again of our answer, which is that right there. It plugs it in for us. The answer button again is down near the bottom of your calculator. And I get 46.4. Now, I think they want to round it off to the nearest degree. So we will say 46 degrees. And we get it right. Okay, guys, let's do one more. One more. Oh, no. You're going to have to do one more on your own. I did not put it in my video here. So I did do 3 out of 4 of them for you. As you can see, I did get 4 out of 4 right. And I did reassign it to you here, guys. as well as the special right triangles that I mentioned in my other videos. Okay? And remember, if you do those there, they count again for later on in my assignments. Even if they don't, I'm going to check what assignments you do anyways, guys. So you're going to get credit for it. You don't have to do it more than once. Although, you ought to maybe do this one more than once for the extra practice. Okay? But hopefully you'll give it your best shot, guys. And you will learn the law of sines very well, hopefully. I'll see you around.